Ba ba da do ya ya. Ding 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 ya ya. Ding 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 ya ya ya. Su du 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 be ding 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 ding. Ah. Greetings, greetings. Welcome to this week's edition of the Beating Heart Moment, back by popular demand. The old cowboy hat. I hope you had a great week last week. I love this little drum, just toying with this little laptop cajon. I've had a few people that have asked about percussion instruments and drums and various instruments and things of that nature. And I do use them from time to time when we come together. This beautiful little drum is it's called a cajon tab. And it's a beautiful little, it comes from the box drum tradition. I think earlier on, a few weeks ago, maybe a month or so ago, I talked a little bit about the tradition of the box drum. Really derives originally when slaves were brought from Africa to the New World. The drum was not allowed to be a part of it because it was realized that the drum was not only an instrument that was used for just kind of fun, but it was used for both ritual and communication, communication along long distances. And so the drum was forbidden. But those who were trained in the tradition of the drum, when they arrived in the Americas, things like a box or a crate could be used, and the same rhythms that were played on the traditional African drums could be played on those crates and boxes and things of that nature. But they would the slavers would just assume that they were just making music, that there could be no danger in this rhythm that was being played on these box drums, when in fact it was keeping the traditions alive. And in a situation where you had people that were from different communities and from different tribes, and they were divided up so that they could not communicate directly through their languages, there were connectors, if you will, in those traditions. And so, interestingly enough, the tradition lives on. Of course, the conga drum was created here in the West, in the Caribbean, and born from the traditions of Africa. But rhythm, as we know, this is this, the heartbeat. All of the great drum traditions derive from that connection and that knowingness that we have of our mother's heartbeat, connecting to the mother's heartbeat. And of course, the beating heart connects us to the full measure of our individual being, coupled again with the song of the breath, that which unifies all living and creative things. My prompt, my invite for you this week, as we continue our journey of really breathing into and being one with the full participation in our health and well-being, recognizing and aligning to the music and the beautiful medicine, the medicinal essence of our breath, the medicinal essence of our voices, the medicinal essence of the frequency and vibration of our thinking, that wonderful golden triangle of health and well-being and healing that we speak about. This week, my invitation to you is to explore the concept of ease. I looked up the definition of ease, and the written definition of ease says the freedom from difficulty, effort, pain, or worry. It represents a state of comfort, a state of relaxation, or a state of natural composure. And so, in preparation for my conversation with you today and for our journey this week, I've been exploring and giving myself permission to explore, what does ease feel like? What does that presence, that place of ease feel like? And what might be a sound prompt or a sonic guide that awakens and connects me to this natural composure or this place of ease. And so, what I'd like to do is invite you to consider a couple of things as you move into this place of ease, because we want that, right? We want to be in a place of natural composure. We want to be in a place that's feels like and is a place that's a freedom from difficulty. Would imagine, right, that a part of that is for us to be really, really conscious of where we are, uh, conscious of our presence, ethupa, in our presence, in our state of presence, to make sure that we, with real intentionality, be in those spaces that feel comfortable and that feel safe, and or when we find ourselves maybe in a moment or in a place or in a sense of dis-ease, right? To, with intentionality, breathe into that texture, breathe into that intentionality. You know, what I call the west wall of the triangle is the thinking mind, the frequency and vibration of our intention, coupled with and connected to the base or the foundation of our breathing. And so for this week, to really, with great intentionality, focus on, call forth, and be one with, explore this essence, this place of ease. So, the first thing that I want to invite you to uh, continue to connect to, and even more broadly, maybe this week, connect to, is the breath and heartbeat journey. So let's do a little experiment. Let's see if we can create this as a foundation for our exploration this week. To give ourselves permission to, again, speak into this week. My journey of exploration, will largely include this concept of ease. My intention for the week is to really explore, is to discover, is to awaken, is to include in my way of being this presence of ease, this feeling of ease, this sounding of ease. And that sounding might shift from moment to moment. But let's start first with what I always invite you to do is, as you move into this place of stillness, move into the acknowledgement of the beating heart, recognizing that the amazing rhythm of your beating heart is moving through your body. Those fluids, that essence of fluidity, that essence of being that, vitalizes us, revitalizes us, our circulatory system, the working of the heart, the beating of the heart, the rhythm of our being, our beating heart. And then couple that with the beautiful song of your breath, the breathing in and the breathing out of the breath. Our being melodies, right? The beating heart, the rhythm, the tempo of our beating heart, and the song of the breath. And allowing that foundation of connecting to and honoring that process, celebrating that process, being in gratitude for this magnificent perfection that happens over and over and over again in every beat of your heart, in every inhale, every exhale, and the beautiful crossover of that place of stillness when we move from receiving to sending this perfect melodic song of the breath coupled with the beating heart. And as we allow ourselves to move into the beauty and the felt sense of that process, is to allow our west wall of intentionality, the thinking mind, to focus on this concept of ease and ask yourself the question, what might be the sounding that would call forth a sense of ease for me? So I'm going to explore a little bit, and I invite you to explore a little bit. And maybe that tone, that sound, that sounding might be just the sound of the song of your breath breathing in or breathing out. I invite you to, again, start in that place. But then as we expand and say, in every cell of my body, in every organ of my body, in every cell of the trillions and trillions of cells that make up our beingness, is to be at one with that and allow yourself, if it feels right, if it calls to you, what might be in this perfect moment the sound that will radiate that energy, radiate that sense of easiness throughout your body. Let's explore. First, listening to the rhythm in gratitude of the beating heart, listening to and being at one with the song of the breath, and then allowing an exploration of what might be a sounding that moves a frequency and vibration through every cell of my body. Listening to the beating heart, feeling the beating heart. Listening and moving into the connection to the song of the breath. And explore a sound that might be called forth to you. Now, for me, in that short process, connecting to, acknowledging the rhythm of the heart, feeling and really connecting with the song of the breath, and then allowing an exploration of tone that I could feel throughout my whole body, that I could feel in my hands, feel it in my feet, feel it in my legs, and the beautiful ease place, or the place that I felt a sense of stillness, a sense of composure, was in the silence after the toning. That's the beautiful thing about the journey of the toning. There's sort of two purposes. Number one, sometimes the tone itself, we can move it into a place in the body where that frequency and vibration enlivens a particular organ of the body, or enlivens the energy of your body. So with intentionality, that sound and that tone in and of itself really becomes a vehicle. It becomes a vessel for bringing about a sense of balance, releasing and moving pain from a particular part of the body, or breathing into and creating tone where you feel a part of the body and energetically that part of the body is awakened through the tone. And then oftentimes in utilizing our triangle, moving from the breath into the intentionality, frequency, and vibration of our thinking, coupled with creating sound and tone to move through the body. When the sound, when the frequency vibration moves through the body, and then you move into a place of silence, then the stillness, or what I'm going to refer to this week as the ease that we feel, we can really feel it and kind of drop into it. Does that make sense? So again, there are so many ways that this can be utilized. Maybe there's a phrase, right? Maybe there's a phrase that gives you a sense of ease. Think about that. Allow yourself to think about, or maybe there's a color, right? A color that you love. And so, in terms of, again, remembering, creating that synergy between our thinking and our connection to the rhythm of the beating heart, the connection between the heart and the mind. Maybe there's a particular color. Give yourself permission in your song of the breath to visualize that color. And then maybe ask yourself the question, what does that color sound like? And so now you're amplifying the power and the beauty of your imagery with a sounding that connects to this imagery of whatever that color is. And then as you breathe through and tone through that, when you move into the place of stillness and silence, maybe you'll drop in to that ease point, that felt ease, right? We're in all of this creating a way of being, a way of feeling, and a way of knowing that amplifies and manifests this well of feeling good, this pool of wellness, frequency and vibrational wellness in thinking, in breath, and in tone, so that it's felt through the body. I always remind you with the mantras that I share, knowing what they mean, but feeling the frequency and vibration as they resonate through the body. Give yourself permission to explore this week. What does ease sound like, feel like? Combining the breath with the frequency and vibration of the intentionality to explore and embrace a sense of ease, to give yourself permission to explore what might that sound like. And it might sound different at 10 o'clock in the morning than it does at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, because you've been through cycles of living, life, interaction, phone calls, conversations, eating food, temperature change. All of that is a part of this plethora of being that we can be conscious of and move ourselves into a place of balance, of greater balance. So this week, the invitation, explore ease. Explore that. I'm going to read it one more time. I'm going to put my good glasses on too, because I had my other glasses on, and those glasses are kind of cute, but those are my distance glasses. All right. But just for clarity, just for clarification here, as I put my other glasses on, the freedom from difficulty, effort, pain, or worry. It represents a state of comfort, relaxation, a natural composure, a natural sense of composure. Explore, take an ease journey this week. Explore, explore, explore. Celebrate the rhythm of the beating heart. Celebrate and deepen into the song of the breath, and explore what does ease sound like? What does ease feel like? What might that state of ease, what might be a place? You may have a remembrance, right? A vibrational remembrance of being somewhere where there's a sense of ease. What does being in that place sound like, feel like? This week is our week of ease, okay? All right. Have a great, great week. I look forward to seeing you next week. And remember, come back and visit this. Don't try to memorize it like today and just go with it. Give yourself permission to come back. Or give yourself permission to, don't forget to go back to past weeks. They're all here. And it's all a part. These are all threads in the AIM tapestry of wholeness, health, wellness, and healing. Have a great week. See you next week.